Greetings. Some humans would say, what's up, y'all? So, some of you may know about aliens supposedly coming back 2027 to 2035. You didn't hear it from me. But, you know, I'm on the way, all right? I'm on the way. And this crap comes out. The Pentagon disinformation that fueled America's UFO mythology. I'm going to read this to you, interpret it for you. A tiny Pentagon office had spent months investigating conspiracy theories about secret Washington UFO programs when it uncovered a shocking truth. At least one of those theories had been fueled by the Pentagon itself. Again, you didn't hear it here. Aliens don't know anything. We're just traveling. The congressionally ordered probe took investigators back to the 1980s when an Air Force colonel, pardon, I'm interpreting. Y'all have a weird language. Investigators back to the 1980s when an Air Force colonel visited a bar near Area 51, a top secret site in the Nevada desert. Don't know anything about that either. He gave the owner photos of what might be flying saucers. The photos went up on the walls, and into the local lore went the idea that the U.S. military was secretly testing recovered alien technology. But the colonel was on a mission of disinformation. The photos were doctored, and now retired officer confessed to the Pentagon investigators in 2023. The whole exercise was a ruse to protect what was really going on at Area 51. The Air Force was using the site to develop top-secret stealth fighters, viewed as a critical edge against the Soviet Union. Military leaders were worried that the programs might get exposed if locals somehow glimpsed a test flight of, say, the F-117 stealth fighter, an aircraft that truly did look out of this world. How do they know what out of this world looks? Whatever. Okay. Better that they believe it came from Andromeda. Yeah, now we're talking. This episode, reported now for the first time, was just one of a series of discoveries the Pentagon team made as it investigated decades of claims that Washington was hiding what it knew about extraterrestrial life. Whew, that's a mouthful. I think I'm getting that lung crap that you humans have. I don't know what's up with that. All the technology you have. Can't figure out your own dang lungs. Anyway, back to this report from Earth. The effort culminated in a report released last year by the Defense Department that found allegations of a government cover-up to be baseless. Jeez, your guys' ads, too. There's this crap. There's this little... Oh, never mind. We won't get into your weird movies. In fact, back to the article. In fact, a Wall Street Journal investigation reveals the report itself amounted to a cover-up, but not in the way the UFO conspiracy industry would have people believe. The public disclosure left out the truth behind some of the foundational myths about UFOs. The Pentagon itself sometimes deliberately fanned the flames in what amounted to the U.S. government targeting its own citizens. What is wrong with you people? Seriously. With disinformation. Just feeding each other disinformation all the time. What on earth is wrong with you? Back to the article. At the same time, the very nature of Pentagon operations, an opaque bureaucracy, I think that's what that human word is, that kept secret programs embedded within secret programs, cloaked in cover stories, created fertile ground for the myths to spread. These findings represent a stunning new twist in the story of America's cultural obsession with UFOs, weirdos. In the decades after a 1938 radio broadcast of H.G. Wells's The War of the Worlds, he may or may not be one of ours, spread panic throughout the country, speculation about alien visitors remained largely the province of supermarket tabloids, Hollywood blockbusters, and costume conferences in Las Vegas. Costumed conferences. Nerds! More recently, things took an ominous turn when a handful of former Pentagon officials went public with allegations of a government program to exploit extraterrestrial technology and hide it from Americans. Those claims led to the Pentagon's investigation. Evidence is emerging that government efforts to propagate UFO mythology, excuse me, let me say that again. Now, evidence is emerging that government efforts to propagate UFO mythology date all the way back to the 1950s. That's a long time ago for you guys. That's nothing. That is nothing out here in outer space, as far as time's concerned. Time. It's another thing. Back to the article. This account is based on interviews with 24 current and former U.S. officials, scientists, and military contractors involved in the inquiry, as well as thousands of pages of documents, recordings, emails, and text messages. At times, as with the deception around Area 51, military officers spread false documents to create a smokescreen for real secret weapons programs. Let that sink in. In other cases, officials allowed UFO myths to take root in interest of national security. For instance, to prevent the Soviet Union from detecting vulnerabilities in the systems protecting nuclear installations. Stories tended to take on a life of their own, such as the 3-decade journey of a purported piece of space metal that turned out to be nothing of the sort. Are we talking about balls? Are we talking about balls? And one long-running practice was more like a fraternity hazing ritual that spun wildly out of control. Again, what is wrong with you humans? Investigators are still trying to determine whether the spread of disinformation was the act of local commanders and officers or a more centralized institutional program. The Pentagon omitted key facts in the public version of the 2024 report that could have helped put some UFO rumors to rest, both to protect classified secrets and to avoid embarrassment. The journal investigation found the Air Force in particular pushed to omit some details it believed could jeopardize some secret programs and damage careers. Because you humans, seriously, like, anyways, where are we at? Let's see. I lost my spot. Ugh, jeez. Oh. Omitted details, damaged careers. Oh yeah, I got lost in. Oh, I guess money is mesmerizing. Mesmerizing, is that the correct word, y'all? Is that what you say? The lack of full transparency has only given more fuel to conspiracy theories. Members of Congress have formed a caucus, interesting word, composed mainly of Republicans, to examine unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAP, in bureaucratic speak. Weirdos. The caucus has demanded the intelligence community disclose which agencies, quote, are involved with UAP crash retrieval programs, unquote. Woo, ready for this one? Man, don't even get me started on these humans. Let's just read the article. MAGA skepticism about the deep state further feeds the notion that government bureaucrats have been keeping those secrets from the American public. At a November hearing of 2 House Oversight subcommittees, Representative Nancy Mace, a Republican from South Carolina, cast doubt on the Pentagon's report. I'm not a mathematician, but I can tell you that doesn't add up, she said. Definitely not a mathematician. All right, and then we've got a photo here of a guard with a dog at this, Area 51, whatever it is that you guys freak out about. Again, we're not even there yet. Oh wait, I didn't say that yet. Crap. All right, stupid enough, it says. Not me. This says that. And then it goes on. Sean Kirkpatrick, a precise, bespectacled scientist who once spent years studying vibrations in laser crystals, was nearing retirement from government service when he received the call that would change his life. By 2022, he had ascended to chief scientist at the Missile and Space Intelligence Center at the Redstone Arsenal near Huntsville, Alabama. As he sat at his desk at 6:30 one morning, drinking coffee, skimming through intelligence reports that had come in overnight, his Tandberg desk phone, essentially a classified version of FaceTime, rang. It was a deputy undersecretary from the Pentagon who was putting on a tie as he told Kirkpatrick about a new office Congress ordered the department to set up to examine unidentified anomalous phenomena. The undersecretary and I put together a short list of who could do it, and you're at the top, the official relayed, adding that they had settled on Kirkpatrick because he both had a scientific background and had built a half a dozen organizations within the intelligence community. Is that the real reason? Kirkpatrick countered. Or am I the only one stupid enough to say yes? That's very interesting. Gotta breathe again. I think I got that lung crap. Continuing, in short order, Kirkpatrick had the all-domain anomaly resolution office up and running. Just the latest in an alphabet soup of special government projects set up to study UFOs stretching back more than a half a century. AARO, as it is known, AARO, operated out of an unmarked office near the Pentagon with a few dozen staffers and a classified budget. The mission fell into two buckets. One was to collect data on sightings, particularly around military installations, and assess whether they could be explained by earthly technology. Amid growing public attention, the number of such reports has skyrocketed in recent years to 757 in the 12 months after May 2023, from 144 between 2004 to 2021. AARO linked most of the incidents to balloons, birds, and the proliferation of drones cluttering the skies. Let me tell you, you guys are trashing space. Trashing it. What the hell are all these probes? You talk about us probing. Y'all are probing everything by surrounding your planet, letting one person surround your planet. How about that one? Whew. Continuing on. Many pilot accounts of floating orbs were actually reflections of the sun from Starlink satellites, investigators found. Oh, that's what I was touching on. Okay. They are still examining whether some unexplained events could be foreign technology, such as Chinese aircraft using next-generation cloaking methods that distort their appearance. I don't know if you guys know about cloaking methods yet. Not sure yet. I don't think my informant and I have talked about that. All right. The office found that some seemingly inexplicable events weren't so strange after all. In one, a 2015 video appeared to show a spherical object buzzing past a jet fighter at an almost impossible speed. "Oh my gosh, dude," the pilot can be heard saying in the video, and laughing. But later, investigators determined there was nothing much to see. But oh my gosh, dude! Whatever the object was, the camera angle and relative speed of the jet had made it appear to be going much faster than it was. The office's second mission proved to be more peculiar. To review the historical record going back to 1945, to assess the claims made by dozens of former military employees that Washington operated a secret program to harvest alien technology. Congress granted the office unprecedented access to America's most highly classified programs to allow Kirkpatrick's team to run the stories to ground. As Kirkpatrick pursued his investigation, he started to uncover a hall of mirrors within the Pentagon, cloaked in official and non-official cover. On one level, the secrecy was understandable. The U.S., after all, had been locked in an existential battle with the Soviet Union for decades. So dumb. each side determined to win the upper hand in the race for ever more exotic weapons. You guys don't even know exotic! But Kirkpatrick soon discovered that some of the obsession with secrecy verged on the I don't know this word. Some human... I don't know where my human went. Farcical? A former Air Force officer was visibly terrified when he told Kirkpatrick's investigators that he had been briefed on a secret alien project decades earlier, and was warned that if he ever repeated the secret, he could be jailed or executed. What? Y'all are gonna execute your own over words? Okay. The claim would be repeated to investigators by other men who had never spoken of the matter, even with their spouses. Dang, man. It turned out the witnesses had been victims of a bizarre hazing ritual. Is that crap you guys do at, like, colleges, educational systems, colleges, or whatever they're called? Weirdo, sick people. Okay, sorry. Try not to get too opinionated. For decades, certain new commanders of the Air Force's most classified programs, as part of their induction briefings, would be handed a piece of paper with a photo of what looked like a flying saucer. The craft was described as an anti-gravity maneuvering vehicle. And it shows a photo of an F-117 Nighthawk over the Sierra Nevada mountain range. Gorgeous spot on Earth. Gorgeous area. All right. The officers were told that the program they were joining, dubbed Yankee Blue, was part of an effort to reverse engineer the technology on the craft. They were told never to mention it again. Many never learned that it was fake. Oops. Kirkpatrick found the practice had begun decades before and appeared to continue still. The Defense Secretary's office sent a memo out across the service in the spring of 2023, ordering the practice to stop immediately, but the damage was done. Investigators are still trying to determine why officers had misled subordinates, whether as some type of loyalty test, a more deliberate attempt to deceive, or something else. After that 2023 discovery, Kirkpatrick's deputy briefed President Joe Biden's Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines, who was stunned. Could this be the basis for the persistent belief that the U.S. has an alien program that we've concealed from the American people? Haines wanted to know, according to people familiar with the matter, how extensive was it? She asked. The official responded, "Ma'am, we know it went on for decades. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of people. These men signed NDAs. They thought it was real." The finding could have been devastating to the Air Force. The service was particularly sensitive to the allegations of hazing and asked the Aero hold off on including the finding in the public report, even after Kirkpatrick had briefed lawmakers on the episode. Kirkpatrick retired before that report was finished and released. In a statement, a Defense Department spokeswoman acknowledged the Aero had uncovered evidence of fake classified program materials relating to extraterrestrials and had briefed lawmakers and intelligence officials. The spokeswoman, Sue Goff, said the department didn't include that information in its report last year because the investigation wasn't completed, but expects to provide it in another report scheduled for later this year. Are you guys talking about this year, like 2025? I mean, again, you guys in time? It's strange. It's a strange one. Let's see. The department is committed to releasing a second volume of its historical record report to include Aero's findings on reports of potential pranks and inauthentic materials, Goff said. And that is spelled G-O-U-G-H. All right. A bunker in Montana. Montana. Also beautiful land you guys have. Beautiful. Kirkpatrick investigated another mystery that stretched back 60 years. In 1967, Robert Salas, He's tried to contact me. Yeah. He's 84 now, so. He was an Air Force captain sitting in a walk-in closet-sized bunker, manning the controls of 10 nuclear missiles in Montana. Scary. He was prepared to launch. We'll start over. He was prepared to launch apocalyptic strikes. Should the Soviet Union, Russia ever attack first? He got a call around 8 p.m. one night from the guard station above. A glowing reddish-orange oval was hovering over the front gate, Salas told Kirkpatrick's investigators. The guards had their rifles drawn, pointed at the oval object appearing to float above the gate. A horn sounded in the bunker, signaling a problem with the control system. All 10 missiles were disabled. Whew! Lordy! Whatever that means. Alright, Salas soon learned a similar event occurred at other silos nearby. Were they under attack? Salas never got an answer. The next morning, a helicopter was waiting to take Salas back to base. Once there, he was ordered, never discuss the incident. Salas was one of 5 men interviewed by Kirkpatrick's team who witnessed such events in the 1960s and 70s. While sworn into secrecy, the men began sharing their stories in the 1990s in books and documentaries. Kirkpatrick's team dug into the story and discovered a terrestrial explanation. The barriers of concrete and steel surrounding America's nuclear missiles were thick enough to give them a chance if hit first by a Soviet strike. But scientists at the time feared the intense storm of electromagnetic waves generated by a nuclear detonation might render the hardware needed to launch a counterstrike unusable. To test this vulnerability, the Air Force developed an exotic electromagnetic generator that stimulated this pulse of disruptive energy without the need to detonate a nuclear weapon. All right. When activated, this device, placed on a portable platform 60 feet above the facility, would gather power until it glowed, sometimes with a blinding orange light. That's not all of them, though, y'all. It would then fire a burst of energy that could resemble lightning. Can't believe you guys don't even have lightning figured out. The electromagnetic pulses snaked down cables connected to the bunker where launch commanders like Salas sat, disrupting the guidance systems, disabling the weapons, and haunting the men to this day. It is pretty scary. I'll admit, even as an outer space person. But any public leak of the tests at the time would have allowed Russia to know that America's nuclear arsenal could be disabled in a first strike. The witnesses were kept in the dark. To this day, Salas believes he was party to an intergalactic intervention to stop nuclear war, which the government has tried to hide. Excuse me. Pardon me. I'm so sorry. Thanks a lot, you guys. It's out in the universe now. You didn't take care of your lungs, and it's all out in the universe now. Thanks a lot. All right. Well, Salas is half right, it says. The experience left the octogenarian deeply skeptical of the U.S. military and its ability to tell the truth. There is a gigantic cover-up, not only by the Air Force, but every other federal agency that is cognizant of this subject, he said in an interview with the Journal. We were never briefed on the activities that were going on. The Air Force shut us out of any information. Concealing the truth from men like Salas and deliberate efforts to target the public with disinformation unleashed within the halls of the Pentagon itself, a dangerous force, which would become almost unstoppable as decades passed. The paranoid mythology the U.S. military helped spread now has a hold over a growing number of its own senior officials who count themselves as believers. The crisis grew to a boil over a piece of metal mailed to a late-night radio host in 1996. Again, you guys are just babies. Which the sender said they had been told was part of a crashed spaceship. I think that's all that I have. That's all my people gave me, I believe. Stay calm. keep the peace, respect each other. Pretty simple. Figure it out, human!